History remembers conquerors. It rarely remembers their doubts. Ashoka was not born gentle. He was born into ambition. The Mauryan Empire was already powerful. His grandfather Chandragupta built it. His father Bindusara expanded it. Ashoka inherited steel. But he was not the obvious heir. Court politics were sharp. Brothers competed. Alliances shifted. Trust was thin. Ashoka learned early. Power was not given. It was taken. Some stories say he was ruthless, a prince who crushed rebellions without hesitation, a governor who ruled with force. Whether exaggerated or not, one thing is clear. He understood fear. When he finally took the throne, it was not peaceful. It was decisive. Blood likely marked the path. Empires do not transfer gently. Once crowned, Ashoka faced a simple question. What does a strong emperor do next? He conquers. Most of the Indian subcontinent was already under Mauryan control, but one region stood outside it, Kalinga. Kalinga was independent, strategic, wealthy, proud. It controlled coastal trade routes. It had access to the sea. It refused submission. For Ashoka, this was unfinished business. An empire with a gap is an invitation. So he marched. The Mauryan army was massive. Infantry, cavalry, war elephants, engineers, supply lines stretching for miles. Kalinga resisted fiercely. This was not a quick surrender. It was a brutal campaign. The numbers come from Ashoka himself. Over 100,000 killed, many more wounded, even more deported. The battlefield was not glorious. It was crowded with bodies, smoke, cries, silence afterward. Ashoka walked through it, or so he tells us. This is important. We know this because he told us, not in poetry, not in legend, but in stone. Across his empire, pillars were carved, edicts were written. They spoke in his voice. In them, Ashoka admits something rare. He felt remorse. He says the conquest of Kalinga weighed heavily on him. He says the suffering of civilians disturbed him. He says victory did not taste like triumph. This is unusual. Ancient kings celebrated conquest. They boasted of slaughter. They counted enemies like trophies. Ashoka did something different. He counted regret. Was it sudden? Was it gradual? We do not know. But after Kalinga, his policies changed dramatically. He embraced Buddhism, not quietly, publicly. Buddhism was not new. It had existed for generations, but it had never had imperial backing like this. Ashoka supported monasteries, he sponsored missionaries, he sent envoys beyond India, Sri Lanka, Central Asia, possibly even the Mediterranean world. He spoke of Dhamma, a moral law, not a narrow religion, but a code of conduct, respect for elders, kindness to servants, compassion for prisoners, tolerance of other faiths. He ordered the planting of trees along roads. He built wells, rest houses, hospitals for humans, even for animals. This was not weakness, it was administration with ethics. But do not imagine a pacifist saint. Ashoka did not dissolve his army. He did not abandon authority. He did not invite invasion. He shifted the language of power, from fear to morality. His edicts warned officials against cruelty. They encouraged fairness. They demanded accountability. He traveled his empire, not just to inspect, but to preach. He called himself the beloved of the gods. But he also called himself a father to his people, a moral guardian. This was political genius. Remorse alone does not hold an empire together. Systems do. Ashoka understood scale. The Mauryan Empire was vast. Different languages, different cultures, different traditions. Force could conquer them. It could not unify them. Dhamma became a shared framework, loose enough to include diversity, strong enough to signal authority. It was soft power before the term existed. Yet, there were limits. An empire built on conquest carries scars. Bureaucracy grows heavy. Succession grows uncertain. After Ashoka's death, the empire weakened. Provinces drifted. Control loosened. Within decades, the Mauryan Empire fragmented. Did his turn to morality make it fragile, or did it simply delay the inevitable? Historians debate. The sources are incomplete. The archaeology is partial. But this is clear. Ashoka did not fail. He transformed. Most conquerors expand territory. Few attempt to reform the soul of power itself. His pillars still stand. polished stone, lion capitals, carved messages weathered but readable. They do not celebrate annihilation, they speak of restraint. That is extraordinary. In a world of warrior kings, Ashoka chose introspection. But do not romanticize it too quickly. His remorse came after victory, not before. Kalinga still burned, families were still broken, lives were not restored by edicts. Regret does not undo consequence. And yet, it matters, because it shows something uncomfortable. Even the most powerful man in India could look at what he had done and feel horror. Power did not erase conscience, it confronted it. That is the tension at the center of his story. Ashoka conquered almost everything. Then he confronted what that meant. He did not undo the empire, he redirected it. He used authority to promote compassion. He used stone to spread ideas. He used victory to argue against future violence. Was he sincere? Likely. Was he strategic? Certainly. The two are not opposites. Leaders are rarely simple. Neither was Ashoka. He was ruthless. He was remorseful. He was pragmatic. He was visionary. He was a man shaped by war who tried to shape a different peace. History often reduces World War I to a trigger. It reduces empires to dates. It reduces kings to caricatures. But Ashoka complicates the story. He reminds us that power can evolve, that conquest can lead to reflection, that regret can reshape policy. Not perfectly, not permanently, but meaningfully. His legacy is not just territory, it is transformation. The lion capital from his pillar became a symbol of modern India. His wheel, the Ashoka Chakra, sits at the center of the Indian flag, a conqueror's emblem reimagined as a symbol of law and motion. That is history's irony. The man who caused devastation in Kalinga became a global icon of nonviolence, not because he was innocent, but because he changed. And that may be the more unsettling lesson. The greatest shifts in history do not always come from saints. Sometimes they come from men who have seen what they are capable of and decide to turn. Ashoka did not erase his past. He built on top of it, stone by stone, edict by edict. An emperor who conquered almost everything, and then had to live with it.